Hey, everybody.
Hello.
He's got an alarm going, which I
Hello,
find
friends.
hilarious. Hey, everybody. Hello, future bestsellers. We already have people coming in today. I'm super excited about that. I'm Lisa Daly. Today is the first Wednesday of the month, and you know what that means? It means we are doing promo sprints. We're doing all that authory platform building stuff that we all hate to do, but we have to do anyway. So with me today, Robert is on his way, so we should see him in a few minutes. Savvy is here, our regular, yay! So Amy is here. You guys might remember her from our very, very first promo stream, which was, I believe, 3 or 4 months ago. So way back. She's been with us way back. She's OG. Is going to, she's an SEO expert, and today we're going to be talking about websites, and so we thought that she should definitely be here for that. And Carrow is here, but is she here? She went to go out to the door.
I'm here. You said I had 36 seconds, so I ran.
Oh, so you were really fast. All right, so let's see who else is here. Carrow, I'm going to pull in some comments. And while we're doing that, why don't you guys, actually before we do that, why don't you guys tell a little bit about who you are and what you do? We'll start with our extra special guest today. Amy, tell us all about you.
Hi, I am Amy Awesome Buddy. You know, per Carrow, she wouldn't let me have my original name.
Yeah.
I am an SEO consultant. I've been doing it for about 3 years. I'm accredited through UC Davis. I am a freelancer, and I don't have a website because as weird as that is to say, because that is my lifeblood, that is my bread and butter is people's websites. I don't actually enjoy doing it for myself. So I don't have a website, but I am a growing list of references. So.
Wait, are you saying if I commissioned you to go and do your own website, you would do it?
Oh my God. Oh, I never see this loophole. Carrow just found the big loophole in the system.
That is
like my matrix just got hacked. No comment. That's my official statement. No comment.
Well, welcome, Amy. We're super glad you're here today because this topic that we're talking about today is right up your alley. Carrow, tell us about you.
Hi, my name is Carrow Brown. I'm a urban fantasy author and the operations director over at Otherworld Inc. I like to write stories and I like to tell people what to do. So that's why I do both of those things.
And you like to make spreadsheets.
I love spreadsheets. Yes. So, somebody was in a live panel and they were talking about me, and they had put in the comment that if a spreadsheet was a sexuality, that would be Carrow Brown. She'd be sexual. And so I don't think they knew that I was there. And I was like, this is the thing. So I put it on my Twitter handle.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so awesome. Savvy's here. Savvy, tell us all about you.
Hello, I am Savvy from the channel SAVY Writes Books. I am a small business owner who runs the Forever Home Friends, which is a business that produces children's books and stuffed animals based on real rescue dogs. So on my channel, we talk about author life and small business owner life, and we roast scammers and pyramid schemers and people who try to exploit small business owners. This Friday, I'm gonna have a video about Tony Robbins. So I'm finally going after the big guns. So Tony Robbins is gonna get knocked down a notch this Friday on my channel. So we're doing that.
He's getting the Savvy treatment. I love that. And he's one of those people that people like either totally love or totally hate.
Yeah. I didn't know much about him, but after researching him, because people had been posting in this Facebook group I was in, like, you gotta do a video on Tony Robbins. I looked into him, I'm like, oh God, I hate this guy. He's awful.
Yeah.
So
yeah. There's
if you're a Tony Robbins fan, I apologize. You're gonna be very angry at me on Friday.
No, you know what? There's some things to like about him, but there are also a lot of things to hate about him.
Yeah.
There's a documentary called I Am Not Your Guru or something.
Yeah, I'm actually reviewing it on my channel this Friday. Yeah. I'm including some clips of it and hoping that he doesn't try to copyright claim me.
It's really, well, he might, you never know. It's for educational purposes.
Right. I even put a little copyright disclaimer at the front of it, but you never know how the YouTube bots are about these things.
That is totally true. That is totally true. Well, you guys know me. I'm Lisa Daly. I'm a traditionally published author of several, 8 or 9 books. Who knows? So let's say hi to some people. We have all of our normal friends here today. Not normal. Let's face it. We're writers. None of us are normal. We have a lot of our usual friends here today. So let's say hi. All right. Hello, Debbie with the awesome purple hair avatar. Debbie was the first in the room today. Nice work. Good job. Elizabeth Fairfax is here. Hi, Elizabeth. Look who's here. Devin. He's already planning his joke for the day. Hey, Devin. We're so glad you made it. Mary Wembley's here. Yay. Oh, my gosh, you guys. We have such a great crowd today. Sarah Keith is here. Hello.
Hello, friends.
Hannah's here.
Hello.
Joanne Ninja Hen is here. Oh, see how Savvy's already got her name. Hey, hi, Daily Brown Savvy somebody.
I love it.
Yay.
Love it. Doll is here. Awesome. Nihilist Geek is here today. We're so glad to see you guys. Bonnie's here. Yay.
With the
Jordan's
fancy
here.
avatar.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, right? Look at that. Love it. All right. Eva's here. Oh, I like that. Eva, is that new for you? Is that a new avatar for Eva?
I think that's
It
what
is.
we've had for a while.
New-ish.
It's new for you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I love it. So today we're going to talk about author websites, which is one of the most important marketing tools that you can have as an author. It's the place where you collect your newsletter subscribers, where you give out information about who you are, what your books are, etc. It's a place that you can really do well, or you can do really poorly. Look who popped in. It's Robert Jones, the story detective.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. So we were just talking about you jinxed us. What happened? Oh, he's gone. Was so close and yet so far. All right, I'll pull him off. So what? Oh, Jennifer's here. Yay! Yay! Story detective's back.
I still can't hear you guys. I'm lost here
Are you
today.
Can you hear us now? You got us now?
Okay, let me see.
Yes.
Okay, now it's working.
Yay.
All right. Jennifer's here. So we're super excited about that. Eva says her avatar is newish, very bad books doodled up for me. I love it. I think it's super cute. Super cute. Jennifer hasn't been on in a while. Ooh, started a weight loss journey and I've been busy. Good for you. Congratulations. That's awesome. All right. So we are talking about websites today. And we have Amy here to give us all sorts of tips and advice on SEO and probably some other things that I can't even think of. But I want to talk about, what do you guys think is important for authors to have on their websites? What are the big problems? Having had a website for, oh my God, since like 2001. You know, when I sold my first book to Penguin, the fact that I had a website was like, oh, like it was so foreign to them. Like they were so excited, like I'm like some unicorn. And of course, now if you don't have one and 1 million Twitter followers and all that, then you're just not pulling your weight. So what kind of website questions do you guys have? What do you want to know about what should be on there? What do you guys think should be on there? I will tell you my experience of what has been great, what has not been great, and a bizarre website story that I have yet to resolve. So we are going to start the questions with Doll, but first, hold on. Chloe says hi.
Hello. Hi, Chloe.
I love your avatar. I'm all about the pineapples. Love, 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 love. I think is this the first time you've been on our stream, Chloe? I'm super excited that you're here. So yay, welcome. All right, so today we're talking about websites. Doll has a good question. Can I have a website with a free builder like Wix and keep the free domain for a while? Is this not a bad thing? I have, so my opinion on that is that while you're building your platform, you can totally do that. You can always do it, some other sort of redirect. And then when when your book comes out, or when it's getting close to coming out and you're really pumping up your marketing, I think it's pretty important to have a website where, like an author name website or something, where you're your fans are able to find you, blah, 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 today, sorry, where your fans are able to find you and your books. And I will say, don't name your website after your book, because right, because later, if you move or you change or you have different series, your author name or something else will always be there. Whereas I don't know that you want to necessarily be attached to your first book forever. So, all right, we got
a question. So I'm trying to get my website to be savvy.com.
Yeah.
And another company already owns savvy.com, but that's not the name of their company. It's like the name of one of their specific products, but they bought out the domain name, which redirects to a specific page on their thing. So I've been Twitter DMing them, like, can I please buy this domain name from you? Because it's my name that I go by professionally and I want it for myself. And it's not even what you use. And they keep ignoring me. And I know that I legally have no right to savvy.com, but if anyone has recommendations for what I can do to get that website, let me know.
Well, I will tell. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because two things. For me, my very first book was a dating advice book, and it was Stop Getting Dumped. So my first website was stopgettingdumped.com. And again, because
that sounds like a very popular 2001 website.
Right? Oh, it was. Well, here's the thing. I ignored that website for like 8 years trying to build up lisadaily.com.
Yeah.
And guess which one got way better traffic? Stop Getting Dumped. So eventually we had my name, lisadaily.com, redirect to Stop Getting Dumped. And that way I could keep the Stop Getting Dumped traffic, but still use my name as like the name on the books and all of that. But here's the thing. So you could sort of do this terrible thing that happened to me in reverse, and probably it wouldn't impact them the same way. So I was telling everybody before we got started today that I had this thing happen to me where a couple of years ago, like a year and a half ago, I was going through like a really, our family had gone through like a pretty traumatic event, and my website person who's managed my website for like a decade, she was taking care of her mother who had cancer. And while we were not paying attention, the domain didn't renew, and it happened to be like the year that my credit card expired. And so,
oh no,
right. So it's like one of those things where 15 things lined up to kind of, and so somebody else swooped in and stole my name. They stole lisadaily.com. And to make, it wasn't just like, oh, they're going to use it for something. Here, I'll see if I can pull it up for you guys. I'll do that. So they didn't just steal it. They made it look like I was promoting their crap. Yeah.
Is it lisadaily.com?
Yep. Hold on.
I'm gonna go there. I'm so curious.
I'm gonna share it right now. All right, here we go. Yeah. So, not my.
Oh my God! What?
I know, right? So I totally stole it.
But they have you on it.
Books. They have a video. They have. Right. But they also have all this stuff down here. How to forgive yourself for cheating, ultimatums in relationships, best questions to ask your boyfriend. Not me.
Wow.
So they're using my stuff.
Take legal action about this, because it says Lisa Daly joins us as we have acquired her website.
Yeah. Right.
Like, all they did was buy your domain name, and they're acting like that means you endorse them.
That's exactly right.
You could definitely take legal action about that.
Yeah, I will. I am actually. We're in the process of doing that. Yeah, well, right. It's my name, and they're using me to sell their crap. You know the weird thing. This is not the first time this has happened. I've never had my website stolen before, but I did have someone who would buy like my name and the names of my book, Stop Getting Dumped, which was it sold really well, which is why I think people like to keep borrowing it. But they use that for their Google keywords. And so if someone searched for Lisa Daly, like the first 3 sponsored results would all be this other dating person up at Christian, somebody in Canada, and they would pretend to be me. Now, it wasn't just me. It happened to a lot of other authors too, but it was like this crazy thing where people think they're coming to get you, but they're really going to whatever, something femme to buy their crappy books.
It sounds like, okay, this lady, what's her name? Ava Moore. Do you know this lady?
No.
Okay, so this lady, what it looks like she's doing here, dude, I could even do a whole exposed video on this lady if you want. Because this is, okay, so when you type in lisadaily.com, it redirects to independentfemme.com/Lisa Daly.
Yeah.
And then if you click on the links up top, it's all just her website where she's selling like weird herbal supplements to boost your hormones or whatever. So it looks like what she's doing to advertise her brand is just buying people's domain names that expire and acting like they're endorsing her product so that when people go there.
Yeah.
Dude, that is insane.
It is. It's insane. So
like fuck Tony Robbins, this bitch.
I know, right?
What?
Okay. It's insane. All right, so here's the deal. So this is my little thing. I do own I own like the .tv and the .uk, but it's not the same as the .com. So I really obviously want to get that back. So so what do you guys think about Doll's question? Can I have a website with a free builder like Wix and keep the free domain for a while? Is this not a bad thing? I have weighed in. What do you guys think?
So as somebody who does snoop on other authors, I don't care how you host it. I really don't. I'm just kind of looking to see that you have a website, what you have on it content wise. And if you, and I very much understand that we are poor. So if you have to go with the free plan, I'm not going to hold that against you. Like that's just the basics for me.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Well, I need to get my website going. I bought the domain. And that's why I have the Story Detective spelled like it is, because somebody owned Story Detective spelled regularly and they weren't doing anything with it, but it sounded like a fun name, right? So
yeah,
I came up with a variation on the spelling. So Savvy, you may have to add like SAVY Writes or something extra to it that you can use to get the .com.
What I'm thinking of doing, and I've been trying to build this on Squarespace, but I haven't, like, because I host my Forever Home Friends website through Squarespace, and I pay for a business plan on that because I take credit card payments through the site and that kind of thing.
That's right.
So right now I have SavvyLiveser.com, so I just like used my last name, which is weird. So I have that website, which I'm hosting through Blogger, and it has all my stuff on it, but the formatting's weird. So my goal is that I want to make like Savvy Media and like combine everything, like have a website where it's like, on this tab, you can see all my writing. On this tab, you can see my video work. On this tab, you can see, like, look, you can write with me on live streams and join a community, and it'll be great. And then over here, you can buy stuff.
Right.
So I'm working on that right now, except right now I have like a big cartel site. So I don't know. Right now, let me see.
Maybe Savvy Creations and then a subtitle with all the different things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Maybe I'll just even, I can ask you guys this as well. Like Carrow was saying, she doesn't mind where you host it. Like I have a big cartel site, which actually looks better right now than my main site. Because that one I have a free account on. I'm going to post the link to it in the chat and you guys can let me know what you think of it. And if you have any suggestions on how to make it better.
That's a good plan. All right, we're going to say hi to some people, and then we're going to take some more questions. All right. Morning. Hello, Chloe. We're so glad you're here. BC Brown's here. She's had too much caffeine. All right. Oh, Deidre. Chloe, we're so glad you're here. BC Brown. Oh, okay. Who's got me up? Somebody. All right. Deidre's here. Yay. Doll CECIL. Okay, so Doll says she has her author name. But yeah, I have no money right now, so my name .6 for com it is. I think there's no problem. No problem.
Yeah, I think she means like DAL CECIL RUNO.wix.com.
Yeah.
Which is what I used to have too.
I think a lot of people start with that. It's a good way to build your site. People can find you. I think it's a great way to do it. And you can always buy your domain name and just have it redirect. So you can still put dalcecilruno.com on your, just buy your domain name for like $12 and then just have that redirect to your free site, and people will, they'll get used to going to your name, but you still won't have to pay for hosting. All right, Nihilist Geek makes an excellent point. Never have your publisher make and maintain your website.
Or your newsletter, or anything that's tied to you. Always have full control of your shit at all times.
Always have control of your shit at all times. There's just never been so much great wisdom packed into one single sentence. Your mailing list, your website, your stuff, your fan, those are yours to keep. That is your business. And those people will stay with you for every book and every publisher, no matter what you're doing. So the more control you have over your business, the better it is. Jump in here, Amy. What do you think about, are there problems SEO-wise with sites like Wix? Because we were just talking about like people, sort of looking for your name. Are there issues we need to consider with that?
The big drawback to the free websites is that you will not rank for those. If somebody searches, DAL CECIL RUNO, they're probably not going to find that site unless Wix boosts it, because that's kind of like a subdomain. And so Google and search engines don't look at it quite the same as they do a legitimate, just regular standalone .com website. So it will be useful for you when you're building your platform and building your audience and all that kind of stuff. But it will be kind of a pain when the time comes to break away into your own website. And in the meantime, if you're using it as like a home base for your platform and you send people to that site, that's great. It'll totally work for that function. But if you're actually wanting to start setting up a website because you want to be known for, products that you sell, or I'm sorry, what?
I said for, say, Tony Robbins takedown videos.
Yes. If you want to be known for stuff like that, or just to start building if you offer services or anything like that, the free, your name .wix or .blogger or all those other ones, SEO speaking, they just won't, search engines won't see you the same. They don't see that as a legitimate website. They see that as a subdomain on a big database website. So if you're in the very beginning stages and you just need something where you can represent your information, sure. But if you're going to take yourself seriously and put out books, and you do want to make sure that you have full control of your everything, the sooner you can get an actual website, the easier it will be for you. And in the long run, the faster you'll get results for trying to rank for your own name or your books, or, if you run a community page on Facebook and you want to be known for that community, stuff like that, you'll get recognized faster with a regular website.
Okay. All right, good. Anybody else have a thought on this? Don't everybody jump in at once. Okay. All right. All right. Dal says, I hate that I can't build a website with my phone. Laptops aren't my friends. We know. That would be great, though, to do that. Surely there are some sites. In fact, I feel like there's a little phone website builder on my host's site. Like we kind of messed around with building something for Mike. We're just sort of experimenting a little bit. And my website's hosted through Fat Cow, and which is kind of cool. Like it's like this wind powered thing, but they have a little like mobile website builder, and I think you can do that on your phone. I'm gonna look. I'll go play with it a little bit and see if I can. And if I can, I'll let you know on that. All right. Nile Geek says, this is genius predatory marketing. There's a special place in hell to reward the ones who did it. Right? I totally
Okay,
agree.
Lisa, if you're cool with it, May 22nd, I'll expose this lady for stealing your website.
I'm in it. Yay.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. All
Consent
right.
was given. You have
That's
to
it.
go
Perfect.
forth.
Eva says, yay, fun expose collab. All right. Yay, another expose. Everybody loves it. Okay. Doll says, I just Googled it, and yeah, it redirects you to that femme website thing. I'm so mad. Expose her. Expose her.
This lady is the type of thing that makes me want to make exposed videos in the first place, like selling these fake pills and Boost Your Brain Now, the limitless pill that changed my life. This stuff gets me so angry.
I know. Well, and the fact that she's using my name, my likeness, my
like, welcome, Lisa, to our site.
Right.
And acting like this. You're not promoting her products.
No, I'm not, and I never would. Yes. Yes, vulture domain names is a real thing. You have to be super careful about maintaining it. Again, this is something that I like. It was so out of character for me, so out of character for my web person. That it was just like a whole group of events that occurred at the same time that just, yeah, it was awful. Wow. Yes. All right. Nihilist Geek says, if you're looking for affordable hosting, contact him. All right, there we go. Okay, I have a plan that I can spare. Okay, that's interesting. All right. BC Brown says she thinks it's fine to use the free domain until you publish or get ready to publish. Then you absolutely need a custom domain to dispel the amateur appearance. Although you're saying, like, how long does it take to build up SEO, Amy?
Oh, that just depends on how much effort you put into it, how quickly. SEO is really about like keyword placement, where it is on the page, the health of your website.
Mm-hmm.
You can sit down and completely overhaul your website in a matter of hours. I don't recommend it, but you can do it. It's more about like good habits and that kind of stuff. And then later on down the road, once your website has good SEO practices as much as you can get, then it turns over into marketing stuff. So the actual SEO work on your website, that can be done real fast. But the marketing applications of SEO, like backlinks and stuff like that, that takes a lot of time.
All right. Okay, that's good to know. All right, here we go. Deidre has a question related to websites. Would you say it's unwise to have one website with multiple pen names on it, or do you have to use separate branding for all pen names and genres? So I have a thought on the genres, but Carol, I bet you have thoughts on the pen names.
So I actually have both my pen names on my website, and I openly tell everybody that those are both my pen names. That's what I do, but it's only 2 pen names. Like if I had 3 or 4 pen names, I might have to do something different. But depending on how much works that you're putting out, a publisher may encourage you to actually have a website per pen name. But it's one of those things where it depends. Like how many products do you have out? How active are you with them? So on and so forth.
And also, how separate do you need to keep your audiences?
Right.
If
Yes.
that's, to me, that's the biggest thing. If you just have different pen names because you recognize the value of not having the expectations from one pen name on the other, and it's just a good habit to have, and if you want to do that, fine. But there are going to be instances where, you know, if you're writing like hardcore erotica and at the same time young adult books, you really don't want those two things to cross. There are certain audiences where it's really better to just keep them apart.
Yeah.
That's what yourself. I do, because I have like a website for Forever Home Friends because I'm doing kids books and plushies and toy creation, that kind of thing. And then my other writing for like young adults and adults is very different. It's usually like lesbian sci-fi and stuff. So they don't cross. The audiences do cross over sometimes, but not all the time. So I have 2 separate websites.
Yeah, like a really good example is this author that I follow who does very interesting retellings, and I don't mean interesting like sexy time interesting, but she does very dark themed retellings of like classical fairy tales. Like I mean, like they're pretty dark, but her other pen name is where she writes happy go lucky YA stuff. So naturally she doesn't want those 2 people to like get into, yeah, they don't, she doesn't want to merge, which ironically, it's like the parent of one of like her young adult readers found out about her other name. She's like, how dare you write this stuff? And she was like, I have a separate pen name for a reason.
Yeah. So I have two, same name, two genres. If I had to do it all, like, right, my first book was nonfiction, my second book was fiction, my third book was nonfiction, back and forth. If I had to do it all over again, I would choose a pen name for one or the other. Because while you would think that people who read romantic comedies might also read dating advice and vice versa, there's some crossover, but it's not a ton. And so what I feel like happens is that I have this website where I'm trying to be like two things, where I can give you advice about your real relationship, or I can create a fake one for you from scratch. And and that like duality is always challenging for me, because I feel like when I'm promoting a novel that I lose my dating people, and when I'm promoting when I'm promoting a dating book, I lose my novel people. And gradually I have moved more and more over to fiction, because A, I don't want to be 100-year-old dating expert, and B, fiction is really the thing that kind of sets me on fire. But yeah, it's a challenge, and in hindsight, I wish somebody had said, hey, think about this before you do it. Because I assume there would be more crossover than there is. And now I find it's a pain in the neck to do that.
Well, I write under the same name for both things, but I just recently, like within the past couple months, finally separated my newsletters, because I was realizing that like sending out notifications to people who signed up for cute dog stuff and being like, hey, I've got out this new video about a business scammer, they don't really care.
Right.
So I have finally separated my newsletters, and I'm like, okay, this one is for Savvy, the YA author and YouTuber that you guys like, and this one is for Forever Home Friends, the cute dog book and plushie series. And then I also had like a poll that I put out on my channel that was like, if you wanted me on both newsletters, let me know, because I would love to send you stuff for both. So I finally got that part done. I was stressing about that for a while, because every once in a while I'd get a couple unsubscribers when I would send out something that wasn't related to the thing they had signed up for, and it made me sad.
Yeah, right. And you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
All right, Robert, do you have a comment on this question before we're going to go to a break?
Yeah. Correct me if this is a bad idea. I mean, if you have writing that you want to keep completely separate from your regular writing, having a pen name that's completely different might be a good idea, but don't places like Squarespace give you half a dozen pages? So you could technically, if you're going to write literary fiction, you could use Deidre Ann Anderson. If you're going to write a mystery, then you have a separate page for Deidre A. Anderson, and then a horror page for just Deidre Anderson. So they know it's you, but it's a variation on your name, so you're not completely crossed over.
That's an interesting idea. The challenge with initials, BC Brown, let me know about this. The challenge with initials that publishers often have is that, are the two letters together? Are they separate? It makes it harder to search sometimes, like on Amazon with is it T period, A period? Is it, so I know publishers that, that sort of get weird about authors who want to write with their initials, but let's face it, a ton of writers do, and clearly it's been solved in some way. So, all right,
and some people write with their initials because they don't want their identity to be
gender.
known. Like,
Right?
yeah, I was gonna say gender, yeah, because one guy I know who actually writes really good romances, he goes by his initials because of the way that people react when a guy writes romance, and he doesn't want that to unfortunately affect his sales. So that's why you never see his picture or anything.
There are a lot of female mystery writers that do the same thing. They want the hardcover deals, and when they write with their initials, they get, and certainly there are plenty of female mystery and thriller authors, but there is a prejudice there. There's a prejudice against men in romance, and there's a prejudice against women in in other genres. So yeah, there's something to be said for that. So, all right, let's do 5 minutes of productivity. Usually we'll give you guys an assignment. We don't have that, but let's do a little warm up today. And then when we come back, we're going to take more questions.
Wait, I have it.
Ooh.
Think about your splash page. The thing that you want people to think of when they go to your website, think about what you want to put on there.
Ooh, very good. All right. Think about your splash page. And there'll be a quiz when we come back. All right, here we go. I'm going to put that timer up. We're going to get rolling on that. We're going to start with 5 minutes on the clock. Here we go. There we go. I feel like I disappeared. Like
I was like, what's happening? I'm not here.
You guys are all moving. It's like disappearing.
I was like, I'm not ready to be the host.
Well, I'm like getting everybody all moved around. All right. So that was good. That was very good. So we are going to talk about splash pages, you guys, and I want to know what you guys think about what is important on your splash page. What do you want to do with it? So let's talk about the purpose of a splash page. I feel like we should go to our expert, Amy, first. What do you think, Amy?
First, I think it depends on what you're calling a splash page, because some people use splash page interchangeably with homepage.
Mm-hmm.
And technically speaking, it's not the same thing. But if you have a really compelling homepage, it functions as a splash page.
Okay.
I think that a splash page is fine. Just whatever you have on your, what I call a splash page is, it's not a pop-up. It's almost like an interstitial, and it'll go away after a certain amount of time, or you can click out of it. It's basically like, oh, you wanted to go to this page, but hey, I really want you to see this content first.
Right.
That's what it is to me.
Okay.
And some of them go away after a certain period of time. Some of them you can just X out of. So for user experience, it's like a pop-up or an interstitial. Just make sure that you've got quality content on it, that it's worth the person's time, and don't make it direct off your website. Google does not like it when you basically force somebody to look at this thing and then it takes them off the website. That's a really popular spam tactic. And so if they see it, even if it's completely legit, it's still a bad tactic and they'll question it. So, you know, the Google ranking algorithm is really complicated. I can't give you examples, but I can tell you that Google tries to positively reward good practices, not necessarily punish for bad. It's not necessarily going to be like, oh, okay, you made the mistake of directing off your website. Okay, you're going to be in trouble now. You're going to get a penalty.
Right.
But they will question that because it's such a popular spam tactic. So make sure it stays on your site and make sure that it's actually something worth bragging about just for user experience. You know, don't just tell me that, you know, hey, I updated something, unless that new updated material is really important and that's why I came to your site in the first place. Or try to keep it relevant and don't take it off your site. That's
all right. Well, that's interesting. So, Carrow, that's really interesting, and I have a question specifically related to that. Carrow, when you said splash pages, were you sort of speaking more generically about home pages, or did you mean that little pop-up page that?
Oh no, I meant homepage. I just always have probably incorrectly called it a splash page.
That's what I thought you meant. But I do have a question about this, because a lot of authors when you log onto the website, well, I guess you're not logging on, you head over to the website and you would get the homepage. A lot of times there's a pop-up that says, hey, join the newsletter. And that's going to take you to a different site, isn't it? Like, it's going to take you.
It depends if you have it embedded into the coding of your website or not. So if you have the sign up embedded into your website and all you have to do is type in your info, then it won't take you to another page. But if you have a landing page set up, then that will take you to somewhere off your site.
Taking you somewhere else. That's a good thing. I think a lot of us have done that, especially if you use like an inexpensive mailing list site that a lot of times they'll say, oh, you know, create a pop-up, and you do that, you don't even think about that. So that's a really good point. All right, fantastic. Okay, you guys, do we have
I do want to say it can redirect to another page on your website. I'm talking about redirecting off of your website completely.
Yeah.
Like if this is your website and you're talking about, you know, your writing journey and all that stuff, but you're not selling your book on this site, you're selling your book on that site, and the splash page sends you to that other site, it's when it takes you off of this website completely, not when it just redirects you to a certain page on your website.
Yeah.
As a visual, I agree with Amy, because when I was doing comic books. Like your home page is a map that directs you here, it directs you there. Your splash page, the first page of a comic book, is called a splash page. It's a full page of art, and it's supposed to be visually grabbing. It's supposed to pull your audience in and make them say, wow, this looks great. This is cool. Having a pop-up splash page, if you're not going to grab them with that, what's the point?
Yeah.
See, that's why I got my terminology mixed up.
Yeah, a lot of people do use it interchangeably, especially people who aren't actually part of like web design or web development, or, you know, me as an SEO, I do nitpick pages and stuff like that, because it does, for people who have no idea and just for user experience, it can be interpreted as the home page because it will be the first thing that you see.
Right.
So people think, oh, you know, that's the home page because I see it every time I go somewhere on this website. No, that's a splash page. It's like an interstitial.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. All right. So let's take some comments from before. Okay. So BC Brown says she's giving advice to Deidre about using one website instead of many for all the different pen names. And she's saying make tabs for your, so basically different pages or whatever for your different pen names. I would imagine SEO wise, it probably would be easier to maintain a bigger website where you're always updating some part of it versus having 5 websites where you spend a lot of time on it this month and you're ignoring the other 4, and then you spend a lot of time on this one and you're ignoring the other 4.
Actually, it's the opposite.
Really?
Yeah, as you build your website, Google does look at basically the theme of your website so that it can understand what your site is about and what types of information you offer, and therefore what queries you might rank for. So when you have basically like subsets of information, if they're not related to each other, it dilutes the theme. And so it's not terribly bad for writers because you are going to be talking about book related and writing related stuff for each pen name. But generally speaking, it's the opposite. One website that talks about 5 totally different topics will not be as effective as 5 websites that do a really good job of talking about each one topic.
So so since we are all authors and writers on this stream, for us, what do you think about that? Do you think that it's that because, you know, a lot of these things are in common? You're talking about authors, you're talking about books, you're talking about the writing experience, and then you have different genres of books. Does Google consider that? Do you think they consider that sort of the same, that one topic, or are those 5 different topics?
It would see it all as the same theme, I think, because you're talking about different genres, which are all part of, you know, the book industry and all that kind of stuff. Different pen names with different genres and different types of stories would not be as diluting as, you know, if you were talking about, okay, well, I love to garden and I have a car hobby and I'm also a writer. Like, you're going to want to break apart the really different ones.
Right.
As far as having the different pen names on the website, it wouldn't be that big of a deal if you didn't mind that those names were associated. Like I said, if there are certain audiences that you don't want to overlap, you don't want them to know about each other, don't take your chances. But if you just, you know, this is a sci-fi and this is a, you know, urban, I can't think of the word off the top of my head.
Urban fantasy,
yes,
romance.
thank you.
Right.
Exactly. If it's just different genres and you're not trying to keep your audiences away from each other, it's not going to do any damage, really. If you put out quality work on your website and you actually have valuable information on there,
okay,
I don't see it being a problem.
Okay, so Deidre had said that was basically what she was hoping, what BC had recommended, and what you just said that's what she's hoping for, to have a website under her own name, but kind of like little subsites underneath her big, you know. So she's Deidre, the author, but then she has the, you know, the D.A. Anderson site in that, and the Deidre Ann Anderson and the D.A., you know, etc. So all her, but different pen names for different genres. So, okay, good. All right. Fantastic. BC Brown says, make sure to buy those domain names and redirect to your main domain to catch all the traffic searches. All right, that's good. Do you agree with that, Amy?
Absolutely. That's really smart. For an average writer, that's going to be useful and just like a good habit to have. But if you talk about anything like you said that your domain name got snatched up because you talk about kind of an in-demand topic. You know, dating is something that a lot of people talk about, very popular.
What was my name that got snatched?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What you're talking about is really popular.
Right.
Definitely do it if you are offering a product that you know a lot of people are going to be looking to steal, looking to ride your coattails, all that kind of stuff. It's not going to be really pressing for an average writer who has pen names, and not a make or break thing at first, but it eliminates the possibility of anybody preying on you and doing that. Like,
well, we're all future bestsellers here, so I think we have to be thinking long term. We got to be smart about this. Gotta be smart. All right, so BC Brown says, I'd be careful, Deidre, with your branding between pen names. You want something similar between them to cross over easily and be less jarring. So I think this is so great. Actually, this is what Carrow does, right? Carrow, tell us your names.
So I've got Carrow Brown, which is my urban fantasy name, and then I have Faye Black, which is my romance / erotica name. And the only thing that they have in common is they both end in a color at this point.
Right. And I thought that was so smart, rather than having these, names that you've sort of chosen for the genre, but they're not necessarily connected to each other. Because there are some, like Nora Roberts has written Nora Roberts, romances for years, but she also writes under JD Robb, right? And there is some crossover between those audiences, and most people know that she's both writers. But I do think it helps with readers who do not like you to cross names. All right. Nihilist Geek says, I cannot make a site with my name because it is a humongous Greek name. I feel yeah. I don't, because my name is Lisa Daly, which is the most boring name ever. But
my entire name has 10 letters.
Yeah.
Entire name. Yeah. No.
I know, right? It's funny because early in my career, people used to say, is that a pen name? So it's not. All right. Anyway, yes, it is identity fraud. And that's the angle that we're going with. We've approached ICANN and right, where you register the domain names, because they're supposed to manage that stuff. It's actually against the law to just squat on someone on their name and pretend like you're them. So
get him, Lisa.
We're
get him.
working on that.
Get him.
All right. So BC says, I have a video about choosing your branding if you write in multiple genres. BC, will you put a link to that in the comments, and I will I'll link to it over in the description after the thing. After the thing. When we link to call the live stream. All right. Fantastic. Yes. Okay. So yes, Creative Pen has multiple. She's got Joanna Penn, JF Penn, and Penny Appleton. All good and all connected. So when you find out they're related, you're not shocked. Right? That's great. All right, you guys. So Nihilist Geek says there was always the author Ian Banks, also known as Ian M. Banks. Different pen names for different genres. All right, cool. Yes, thank you. People have yes, right? BC Brown says people have big problems with initials, from what we were talking about before. So many people still put periods between my initials, whereas I don't use them. I think a lot of people have that trouble. It's one of those things where no matter what you do, there are always challenges with that. Bonnie Phillips says a lot to think about. Thank you. All right, so let's go through the comments really fast. We'd ask people to think about, we have lots of comments. Ask people to think about what they think is important for a good splash page, or which we're using interchangeably, even though we're not supposed to, with homepage. So What do you guys think about that? What is important? Don't everybody yell at once.
If you're trying to sell something on your site, it needs to be addressed on your homepage, even if you have a page specifically to sell it and buy it on with all the features. That needs to be mentioned on your homepage. And SEO speaking, you need to have your main keywords on there in your H1 headings, your H2 headings.
Yeah.
And if you are trying to sell something, make sure you've got good page speed and stuff like that on your homepage. It makes a difference in Google just seeing the quality of your website.
All right, good.
Well, I have a question for Amy and kind of tying it all together, because not just pen names, but for my channel, Story Detective. Now, if I have a website and I'm tying the homepage in with my channel, and I'm talking about writing and stories, and then I have a link with my different pen names and books under different tabs, does that bring it all together for SEO, or does that still confuse the algorithm?
It definitely brings it all together because it's all hosted on one site. Are you talking about you are on your homepage of your website, you're talking about the content that you have on YouTube? Is that what you mean?
Sort of like an offshoot of my channel, yeah, kind of giving story-oriented stuff, tips, talking about recent videos and things like that. So it all ties in together with my social media. Then the other tabs could be about pen names and writing, and see my writing here and my books about this here. So it's all part of one website, but it ties my social media together on the homepage. That it's still the Story Detective. So if you look for one, you can find all, and not just books under one and writing content under another.
Yeah, that's best case scenario for. I always tell people to look at your website as your home base for your platform. So this is where you're going to be coordinating stuff. You are going to feature on your homepage, talk about your content and all that kind of stuff. And then the other pages that come off of it focus on like topics. You know, this page's topic is this author's name, this book that I sell, that kind of stuff. It sounds like you've got it all organized the best way, if that's what you're doing. If your homepage is
plan, and I thought that's what Deidre was kind of planning too. So I wanted to kind of clarify.
That's great. Awesome. All right. So Dahl says she did not do initials. She made up her name. Nobody else has it. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Oh, about the initials thing. This was taught to me like 12 years ago. So I might be wrong, but I was under the impression that the difference between periods in the initials and periods not in the initials were whether or not you were writing in AP style, I think it is, for journalism, for publications, or if you're writing for books. Like if you're writing for newspapers and that kind of stuff, they try to keep everything as short as possible. And those two periods between your initials are two wasted spaces to them. But when you're writing an MLA, I think it is, you're supposed to have the periods there because the letters stand for words, and you signify that with periods. That's the way it was taught to me back in high school.
Well, if everybody followed ALA style, MLA style, or
Chicago manual,
manual, that would make life easier for everybody. Except it's generally the author's preference whether they put spaces between, whether they put periods between, whether they don't have any punctuation at all. And so that's where the confusion is, that they're not, it's not like it's uniform on all book covers, where if you're J.K. Rowling, it's going to be J period K period, J period K period Rowling, or J.K. or J.R.R. Tolkien. I mean, people do it, all these authors do it differently, and they really have to do it the way that the author says, this is my name. But that makes it more challenging, like on Amazon, if you're trying to search, and they have to have 15 different variations for you. So
SEO speaking, it's still smart for you to put on your website both examples. Like if there's a common misspelling or a common thing like periods, where you might choose to use them or you might not, your audience and the people searching you don't know that. So even if you don't use it necessarily on your homepage, you might want to try to incorporate it casually in other places, other headings on your website. That way you will still be known for that term, and you'll still attract that audience, even though it's a little typo.
Even if it's not the right thing. All right. So we had
It's
asked
close enough,
about
yeah.
home pages / splash pages. I think BC Brown has a similar background to yours, and she's saying, I avoid using a splash page because I find them annoying. I try to make my home pages engaging as possible, which is what you had, right? Which is what you had said also. And then Deidre jumps in, like maybe a freebie based sign up to your newsletter, maybe, which I know is called a newsletter magnet. Super excited about that, right?
Yep, sure is.
Yeah, so those can be really effective, or they can be really annoying as crap. Sometimes people want to see, 2 chapters of your book, or get 5 secrets to make the guys go gaga, which was my little newsletter magnet for a year. That sucker pulled, baby. Let me just say that.
In my experience, it depends on what your SEO is speaking. It's, there are different methods to make both of them work. Yeah. Personally speaking, the pop-ups like that, the freebie to sign up with your newsletter.
Yeah.
If it's not a site that I'm going to for information, that I never ever do that. Like if it's, if I am interested in dating tips, I probably would have signed up for that newsletter. If I just found out that you published fiction books and I went to your website and that was the magnet that you were trying to use, I would have never clicked it. I would have questioned it, actually, because I'm here to talk about fiction.
Yeah. Well, I have them sort of separate. So so what happened is, originally I had Stopped Getting Dumped, which is my first dating book. And that, even though I had abandoned that website for 10 years or something, it still got better traffic than the one that I've been working to build. And so eventually what we did was bring those 2 sites together. And so we kept the blog on the Stop Getting Dumped site, because that was primarily where I did the dating stuff. And then all the other stuff related to my fiction and just sort of me as an author was over on the Lisa Daly site. But they were together. Like if you could click a tab on the Stop Getting Dumped blog and go, and you would go back and forth between the 2 of them. And so on the fiction side, it was like, oh, you can read the first 5 chapters of this book. But if you showed up on the blog where you're looking for dating advice, you would get 5 secrets to make the guys go gaga. Mm-hmm. All right, there you go.
That's the way to do it.
All right. Okay, good. So let's go through a couple more questions, and then we will take another, we'll do a 20-minute sprint where we're going to think about this stuff and what we really need on an author website. Hannah says, I never heard the phrase splash page, but she'd heard of interstitials, but tend to steer away from them.
Yeah, they're a pain in the butt.
Neither have I. Hannah says, glad I'm not the only one. Geek says, if done properly, the pop-up can be delayed, and the moment you give your email, we'll keep it on that page. That's good. Or you can have a pop-up triggered for when someone goes to leave the website. That's a good one. They can be useful if they're engaged in the right way. Like a pop-up that leads to Amazon, Ethan. CO Savvy says, ooh, okay, we're gonna take CO's question when we get back, because that is a big question. All right, so we're going to take that. I want you guys to think about, while we are doing our next sprint, which is going to be a 20-minute sprint, I want everybody to think about what do we really, really need in an author or on an author website. How, your publisher might tell you, or just advice around the internet might tell you that you need to have these 800 things, or you can't function with, your website's not going to be doing what it needs to do for you. So let's talk about what you really need on it and what maybe you don't. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to get started with a 20-minute sprint right now. 3, 2, 1. Here we go, everybody. Oops, I was going to make that big. Hold on. Sure. All right. Let me get rid of this one. So I'm sorry, I was like answering Savvy. She had said, hey, can you put something up so I can ask a question about it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I totally forgot about it in the like minute it took me to read that and go over to the next part.
Oh,
So,
I didn't even see your messages because I was making more coffee in the other room.
okay, so anyway, she'd asked if I would put this up.
We were talking about home pages and splash pages, and so during the 5-minute sprint, I decided to take a screenshot of the splash page or home page. I was using them interchangeably too, that I was working on. Oh, it's so hard to see because my Squarespace free trial for that site ran out. I don't know if there's a way to zoom in on it. It's the one on the bottom.
Hold on. I think, oh, there.
There it is. Okay. Okay.
Oh, crap. Hold on. Wait, there.
Okay.
That's as big as it gets.
Okay. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, it's very small. Sorry, I guess it's not really working, but that was the website I was trying to go for. It has like 3 different color blocks, and then below that, if you scroll down on the page, which you can't on this one because it's a screenshot, but below it has 3 different blocks, and they were going to be for different parts of what I was doing, and you would like click on those and go to those parts of my website. So it was like the one on the left was like my novels. So if you go there, you could buy the novels, read about the novels, that kind of thing. The one in the middle was videos. So it would link to like my YouTube channel and also talk about the different types of videos that I make. I had like things set up for like, here's writing tips videos, here's commentary videos, here's documentary type videos, that kind of thing. And the one on the right was Forever Home Friends, and that was just going to redirect to foreverhomefriends.com. And then I had 3 below it that were like, one was like community, and that one was for like writing live streams, so you could like join in the community and also sign up for the mailing list and stuff. And then there were 2 others, but I wasn't done with them yet. Anyway, my Squarespace free trial for that site ended, so I'm trying to decide if I should pursue it further. I mean, at the moment, I can't afford another business account on Squarespace to take credit card payments, but I do want to eventually work towards having a website where it's like, you can go to this website, you can buy everything directly through it, because for those of you who don't know, my like author philosophy is that like I produce books as a small business owner, like I produce products. So I want to have my own online store where I can ship people things from my house. I have a fulfillment center in my dining room. So I'm like very like hipster when it comes to all this. So yeah, like what do people think about that? Does anyone have like advice on sites, or like maybe even if I didn't use Squarespace, like how to embed PayPal, like the ability to take PayPal payments into a site that might have a cheaper monthly fee or something? I don't know.
All right. Thoughts, comments on that? And I'm going to pull up, we have a couple comments down below while you guys are thinking about that. If anybody has some comments, I don't have experience with trying to sell stuff on my site other than directing readers to various book sites. So anybody else have experience with that?
That's like my thing is like I basically do my own online store and stuff like for Forever Home Friends. Like you can buy them on Amazon, but I don't encourage it. I prefer people buy them directly from my website. Even though it sucks going to the post office during a virus, but I still will ship people's orders out every week.
That is dedication. All right, let's take some comments. Nihilist Geek was talking about his surname, 13 letters, which is.
I'm sorry, I have a phone call I have to take.
Oh, sure, no problem. And 5 syllables. That's okay. CO Savvy has come up with a new name now that Lisa Daly, Carrow Brown, Savvy Lisa. Amy Off Somebody and Robert Jones. Yes, right. We're all together. Okay. Well, we got.
Yeah, that wasn't letting me link to things either. I was trying to link you guys to things in the chat, but it won't let you put links in the chat for some reason.
You can send it to. You can send it to me in. Well, you send it to me in the private chat. You can send it to me on Twitter if you need to. which is
Yeah,
what
if you're a
BC Brown did.
moderator, you should be able to leave a chat or a link in the chat, but only like moderators or the host can do it.
I'll have to make you guys all moderators. I haven't done that. Nihilist Geek. Oh, this is an interesting point because BC Brown earlier was talking about sort of your author branding colors, and he was saying as for your homepage, the colors should be relevant to your genre. Don't use pink for a horror writer's page or black and white for romance. I don't know. Black and white can be kind of romantic. Yeah, it's funny. My website the color scheme was, at least for the fiction, was sort of based on the color scheme of the book title, but I kept it because it's very much the color scheme of me, which you may have noticed, right? Blue, pink, green. That's like, it was also the color scheme of like my house, not so much the pink, but blue and green. So that like felt very natural to me, and I am really careful as far as branding to do that. So what about you, Robert? Do you are you branding with colors?
I think color and visual is important, like the art that Carrow has. When I go to a lot of websites, I see that same kind of script text that so many people use, and even if it looks professional, they kind of blur together, and I don't see the writer's personality on the website. I see something that may look professional, but it all looks the same.
Yeah.
So how can you work yourself into there? How can you be a little more visual? How can you have artwork or something that looks like it might pull people in, and it's not just the same thing? Because then it becomes almost anesthetizing to the eye. You see the same thing over and over, and people don't click. You get bored with it.
Yeah, I think, well, and if anybody knows about the use of color, it's you, right? Carrow, now this is funny because I can't, like, I always think of you with these sort of earth tones, and I think that's because of your avatar and the colors you choose with your videos. Do you have a particular sort of color scheme that you use?
For my website, I just use the default. But I'm kind of a minimalist, so like if you go to my website, the first thing you see are the fact I'm trying to sell books. Like that's pretty much it. And then I've got like a menu on the top, and if you want to learn about me, there's a place for that. And it's got a blog thing, but the blog is really just links to my YouTube videos, which I use to keep the site basically updated for the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, so I kind of use it like the home base that Amy described it, where you kind of go there to go find all of my other stuff.
All the other stuff. I think that's a really good strategy. Well, I'm going to talk about all the other stuff. Let's go through a couple more comments, and then I want to talk about all the stuff that we should have, and then I want to go back to the question I think that Savvy had asked, which I thought was a really good one. So Adega Outlaw's here. Yay! Hello. Hello. BC Brown says, I clearly have some tinkering to do on my homepage now based on Amy's latest recommendations with the headings. Yes. Yes, we all do. Oh, thank you, Sarah.
I love Sarah's avatar so much. It's hilarious.
I know, isn't it? It's so great. It has so much doesn't it? Like, it does the perfect thing for an avatar, which is that it makes you want to know more about her, right? Like you can just tell she's like funny. She has all this personality. I love that. I totally love it. Oh my gosh, it's great. All right, let's see. Oh, hold on. That was a BC Brown. Oh shoot. BC Brown says, yes, Nihilist Geek, associated color psychology is very important to understand and follow. Can I just say that a lot of people do not know that that is an actual field? The main character in my last novel, Single Minded, is a color psychologist. Oh, and, cool. You know, because it's yeah, it was interesting. But I cannot tell you how many like emails I got from people or comments on social media where people were like, is that a real job? Like, I think my daughter would love that. Or I think this is so cool that they don't even know that color psychology and spatial psychology exist. And that's those people that put the produce in the front section, or the people who put the cereals at eye level. Those are spatial psychologists. And the people who design fast food restaurants as red or yellow are color psychologists. And it's funny because I interviewed Leatrice Eisman, who is the head color psychologist for Pantone, which anybody who knows anything about art knows, like Pantone is sort of the, right? So she's like the big cheese of color psychology, and she's fascinating. And I originally interviewed her because I was asking her, like, what colors attract the opposite sex for the dating stuff. So but since that time, which that was like back in 2002, I have been fascinated with this field. So, and I think people don't really know as much about it. I mean, there's a lot of advantages to sort of understanding, at least on a basic level. All right, so CO Savvy says, hi, Sarah. Hi, Adega. We've got this. We've got some hellos. Mary says, I don't have a full-fledged website. I have a blog on Blogger that I've maintained, but I started one on WordPress that was meant to be for the series. There's nothing on it. All right, we're going to talk about all that stuff for just a little bit. All right, so first, before we go back and write again, I want to talk about what should be on your homepage. CO Savvy's question, is it better to have loads of keyword optimized copy or vibrant image with a parallax design UX? Like already I'm like, oh, that's French.
I don't know what parallax means. I would like to learn.
All right, this one is obviously for you, Amy.
Optimally, it's going to be a blend of both.
Wow.
If you have a web page that has a whole bunch of pictures, and always remember that the words that are in your pictures, the robots and the crawlers cannot see the words in the picture. So if you have a message that you need to convey, like a date or an event or something like that, you need to have that word. You need to have those words in actual text on your pages. If you have too many pictures and not enough copy, it's too thin of a page. And if you have too much copy and not a lot of visuals, then, you know, that's not really stimulating for most of your audience. So ideally, it's a blend of both. You need enough copy to clearly explain, you know, what you're talking about, what keywords are relevant, that kind of thing. And you need some visuals for user experience so people actually enjoy your site.
Ah, good. All right, that's great. That's really great. All right, so let's talk about what we need as authors on our websites. First of all, you need your books, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you are, I have a question about buy buttons, because people will generally put, you know, at least Amazon, sometimes Amazon, Barnes & Noble, sometimes a whole slew of buy buttons. And it generally looks fairly terrible to have all those buy buttons on there. However, if somebody's trying to, if you have like a Barnes & Noble person who's, you know, the community relations manager who's considering having you in for a signing, and they go to your website and all you have are Amazon buttons, you're going to piss them off and they're not going to book you for an event.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's at least, if you're going to have, any, you need to have like all the majors. And Apple's the same way. They won't do promos for you if you don't have all those buttons, at least their button on your site. But aside from your books, which is obviously important, super important, because that's why we're all here, what other kind of stuff do you guys think you need on your site? Let's hear. Let's talk. All right. Robert, I can see you're itching to say something. Speak, man, speak.
I think, again, just being visual. The words, as Amy said, need to be there, but people, when they come to your site, need to be drawn in by something other than just blocks of type and blocks of stock photos. I think there needs to be an interesting aesthetic arrangement. Now, when I'm doing artwork, there are usually little tricks to lead the eye. On a website, where are you leading the eye? Where are the pictures and the type guiding you? Where are the lines? Keep things in mind that are going to bring the reader's eye where you need it to be.
That's so good. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's good. That's great. Carrow, content-wise, anything on that?
It really kind of depends on you and your brand and what it is that you're trying to basically sell the most. I mean, at the end of the day, and I'm pulling this from Derek Murphy, at the end of your day, your website is there to sell shit. Like he didn't quite say it like that, but that's pretty much the gist of it. You know, you want people to see what you have to offer. You want them to be able to purchase it, and you want them to be able to do it easily. If you make it difficult for them to do, then they're gonna get frustrated and they're gonna leave. My thing is like on my website I do have things like about me and follow me on all my other social media, but I don't push that into my visitors' face. The first thing they see that is there are my books, and then I make sure that my website is very easy to navigate after that. So now I know it's not perfect because Amy's been giving me the side eye for about 3 months now.
Right?
I just need you to give me admin access. That's all I need.
That's all you need to get you all fixed up. Well, so having had an author website for the better part of like 15 years, well, longer than that, actually, a fiction website since 2007. I know, like, from that history, the pages that get the most action. And Joanne's point about visiting the creator pages for the bio is that is a page that gets a lot of traction. A lot of times people want to know more about the people that they are, you know, if they really like their books. The newsletter page actually generally does get some attention. A lot of times they want to know if you're going to be in town, or whether or not you have another book coming out. And so there's that. And then one page that I used to spend a lot of time on really early in my career that I spend far less time on now was my press page. And there are some things on there that you want to make really easy for reviewers. So you want to make sure that you have high res images of your book in your press page, so that they can just what you want to do is, if they're writing their blog post or their story at 3 o'clock in the morning on deadline, that you want them to have everything that they possibly need. So you want to make sure you have all your book cover images and any photo that they're welcome to use for publication. And you want to tell them you are welcome to use this for publication, for review, so that they know they can run it with their story, and they don't have to, that they don't have to get your permission at 3 o'clock in the morning.
So just to clarify, for you're talking about making sure that the press kit that we would normally send out to influencers, to just have that on the website for anybody who wants to see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And whether or not you want to make that a public page or a private page, I always make it public, because a lot of times people are searching for, expert on something or author on something, and they come across your bio, and then they're going to book you on their podcast or their radio show or their TV show or whatever. So it's helpful generally to have a page for that and have the resources that they need. So in addition to your biography, your pictures, your book covers, and then especially when you first start out, like for me now, I've done enough interviews, and I've been on television long enough where I don't have to, have tape up of my best 3 interviews. But when you're first starting out, it's really important, especially if you are looking to pitch like your local TV station, that you have some sort of video of yourself so that they can see that you're good, that you're articulate and that you'd be a good guest. Same thing is true for radio. And you only need 1 or 2 little things. And obviously when you first start, you might not have anything, but as you get them, put those things up there, because once you get some media, you get more media, and before you know it, you've done a gazillion interviews. So, all right. So what else do you think you really need as an author on your webpage? You've got your bio, and your sort of creator story. You've got a press kit. You've definitely got like pages about your books, because that's, we hope, the main reason why they're there. What other stuff? We've got your newsletter. What other stuff?
I linked mine in the chat. If you because then I can more easily point to things. But both for talking, when we were talking about colors, I linked it for that, but also for, I guess, content.
So what kind of stuff? I want to go to CO's question before we go to our next thing, what other, like content-wise for everybody, what kind of things do you think that most authors need?
I think a catchy tagline. Like Carrow has a great tagline for her channel. And when you do your videos, you have a little introduction that introduces yourself, and you do it automatically. So many people, either their channel or their website, they don't have that introduction, like you said, or a tagline that kind of pulls them in and tells them what you're about.
Yeah, and your tagline is gonna say a lot about your personality as well. You know, there's some authors I met where they're kind of like, been writing for 30 years, expert of linking hearts together, right? So that in that sentence, I'm gonna know that that person has a lot of experience like writing romance, and if they've been doing it for a long time. My tagline is along the lines of, I love tacos and stuff like that. So my tagline is more like, haha, I try to be funny, right? So.
Yeah.
Whenever you,
it's so, like you have, there's like, but that fits with your brand because you are funny in person, and also your books. Which, speaking of which, I'm reading, by the way.
Oh.
And I love it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm only like I've had sort of a crazy couple of like 4 or 5 days, so I'm literally reading it like 3 pages at a time, which normally I bust through a book in a day, but I really like it. So. Carrow love break right now.
Oh, thanks. I returned the heart hands.
But there's some humor in it, even though it's not like a laugh out loud riot like through the whole. It's not. I wouldn't say it's like a comedy, but your sense of humor is like really in there. Like you can really feel. So the idea that like, oh, I write about this and this, and I like tacos, that fits with your brand. It fits with who you are. What other things do you guys like to see? What about giveaways? For years I've had pages on my site that are for book clubs where you put up like a reading guide, because when book clubs are looking for books, a lot of times they like that extra little bit of help. But I don't know, those pages get some traction, so they're probably worth it to have, but they're certainly not the big draw on the website.
Yeah, I've had mixed results with giveaways, because for the longest time, the only reason I have followers is because they just wanted free stuff and not because they cared about what it was I was trying to do. So I did giveaways for about 7 months, and then I eased off of it. And honestly, the people that I attracted after I stopped doing the giveaways were more interested in what it was I was trying to do. So just throwing that out there.
When we were talking about colors before, Dal says, my colors are the colors of the ACE flag. That's it. And she says, I'm taking many notes. Thank you. I'm so glad. If there's anything you guys want, we have so many comments. I'm trying to get through everything. Okay, so BC Brown, I spent years in PR. Yes, ditto. And we didn't take anybody seriously if they didn't have a bio, a tagline, and a media kit. And it doesn't have to be an extensive media kit, but it does have to have the basics in there. So picture, bio, and whatever you're currently selling or about. All right, let's see. Mary Wimbley says this has been really affordable. It's free. This has been really informative. I will watch the replay and take notes. Unfortunately, I need to go ahead and leave since I have an appointment. Oh, thank you.
Man.
We're so glad you made it.
Thanks for coming, friend.
Right. So Dal has a great tagline. We all know it. And not only do we all know it, we all use it when we talk about her, right? So when Robert talks about me, he's not saying, oh, if you want to write a book you're super proud of and get it published, talk to Lisa Daly. He's not saying that. But how many of us have had Dal on our screen, or we talk about her, we're like, oh, she's a blind alien from a distant galaxy. Me, you got, right? We all have. It's so vivid and memorable, and it also really speaks to, what you're writing about. It's great. It's great. It's terrific. BC Brown says, let's get weird together, fantastically weird. And when she comes to see us, right, she says, hey, writing weirdos. That's great.
I love it.
Brown.
My tagline is, what's up, my fellow small business supporters?
Right, exactly.
I need a better tagline, because I thought channel name is a tagline that says it all. But then since I've been doing these live streams and you say, what's your channel about? They don't necessarily see my name and I have to explain it.
Right.
I do story and tech reviews, under the microscope of one anal dude.
And I should say this, another fun thing about taglines is if you do your SEO on your site correctly, you can rank for your tagline. Like it's a common SEO, it's not a trick, it's a legit example of how SEO works, where you can put a phrase on your website, and if you put it in your headings and your image titles and that kind of stuff, where you can pick any phrase and I can make your site rank for that phrase. So that's basically what a tagline can also do for you on your website. If you have a phrase like that, like, thanks for supporting small businesses or anything. Well, that's a really generic one. Sorry. But dolls is perfect, actually. Partially blind alien from a distant galaxy.
Right.
You can put that on her website, and if anybody hears that sound bit enough to Google that, you can make her site rank for that. Tagline, keep in mind, is something that you can optimize your website to rank for your tagline.
Well, and that's like dolls in particular is great, because if you're like, you see one of her live streams or one video and you go, oh, well, I don't remember what her name was, but I remember she was like a blind alien, and you type that into Google and she pops up for that. That's phenomenal. So I think that's a really good point. Joanne and Jahan said, which is so funny, I don't even see that comment, but I'm glad it popped up. A reading guide is something that you put together for book clubs, and this is you can do it for fiction or nonfiction, but it's more common with fiction, where you basically write down 10 questions about things that might be interesting for book clubs to discuss. So a lot, right? And so things like challenges, what did you think about when this character did something, this shocking thing, or do you relate to this character? And it's basically 10 little conversation starters where you want them to think about your book, talk about your book, and it's helpful because then the person who runs the book club, who's already busy getting snacks and things together, does not have to think about all the questions to get the conversation rolling. So there are some, but that's a good question, and I'm actually planning a video coming up on that. So I'm glad you asked it, because I was like, do people need to know this or not? So good, very, very good question. Joanne and Jahan says, isn't it enough when I write in the title of the picture the text that's on it? Do I have to have it in regular text? Amy, that's for you.
It depends on how important the information is. Generally speaking, yes. If there is a caption in the picture, like a name an event or a date or something like that, and it's in the title of your picture, that definitely helps. But if it's really important, it does need to be in the copy on the page.
All right, good to know. CEO Savvy says, I need a tagline. You can do it. You can do it. Let me just say, as a person who worked in advertising for a long time, you have to write. You may come up with a great line on your first or second line, but it may not be until your 43rd line. So write a lot of them, like pages and pages. I used to write 50 lines for a headline or a tagline, and sometimes you get the good one like right away, and you write those other ones knowing you're never going to beat the third one you got. But sometimes the best one is number 51. So keep doing it till you get something that you really like. Hi, Sky. Okay, so Sky says, I say, hey, Dragonlings, in my live streams and my videos. I don't usually say it when I jump on other streams like BC Brown Book does. So, all right, I always say future bestsellers because, right, I give writing advice. And I think that's, I don't know, I hope that it's inspirational. What I really want is for you guys to all know that you can, do this, that you can make this happen for yourself, and that I believe in you. So I don't know, maybe it's too cheeseball. I don't know. That's just me. All right. I should have taken this more seriously. I'm picking the best. Okay. Dahl says the blind alien tagline was not her first. So keep trying. You'll find yours. Yes, that is excellent, excellent advice. BC says, yes, you have to write taglines dozen times over before you get something you really like. My tagline has evolved over time. Well, and so this is my challenge now, right? I have very different taglines and I don't have a great tagline for my books because I have struggled with that like dual personality thing for a long time. And what I do over there is kind of, has, there's some crossover, but what I do here is give writing advice. And so it's much different the way that I am approaching things. I wouldn't say if you want to write a book you're super proud of and get it published over on my author site. I mean, I might say it like on a little page, but yeah, I wouldn't say that. Oh, CO Savvy says, I love future bestsellers. I'm like, yes, I am. Yes, you are. All right, that's good. I got a little enthusiastic. I tend to get excited about these things. Ooh, all right. So, yes. So BC says, I'm a branding coach, so I know how to use my brand liberally. Yay. All right. You guys have been totally awesome. Does anybody have any, let me go back because I feel like I missed a whole smack of questions like right in the middle. If I missed something from you, I apologize. Eva says, loving this conversation, taking notes. Eva had said, I'm building a site around my LLC, but I keep taking direction on it.
No, Amy.
Yeah.
I'm probably about to disappear. We'll see. I'm going to mute it. Sorry, go ahead.
Come towards my voice. Don't go to the light.
Stay. Yeah. So one thing about changing direction a lot, as a person who used to work in advertising, I can tell you the more you change, the more expensive it gets. It's better to know what you want and figure all those things out before you start paying someone by the hour or the project to do it. And Eva says the costs aren't cheap. I don't recommend my method for cost saving. Me either. All right. Let me see if we had anything else. You guys, you're not going to believe this, but we are actually going to finish on time today. I can't believe
Every time you say that, you jinx it.
I know, right? I'm the worst.
I just have to throw that out there.
I'm the worst. Okay, I gotta go back on this. All right, so it is true, right? It's true. I do jinx it. Not today, people. We're gonna get done on time. We have 2.5 minutes left. Before we go, I want to say Doll has her live stream that starts an hour after ours. Tonight, Savvy Writes Books has the fantastic Savvy Sleepover stream where there's drinking and sleepover and live stream. I'm actually going to guest on that tonight. So
yeah, Lisa's going to be co-hosting on my stream tonight. We do writing sprints just like we do here, but we also wear pajamas and stuff. So
that's where I'm going.
Come on over, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, and we'll have an AUTHORTUBE sleepover.
I know. I'm super, super excited about that. Super excited. And also, Carrow does a 1 p.m. live stream on 1 p.m. Eastern time, live stream on Tuesdays. So you should be sure to check that out. I did not make it yesterday, Carrow. I'm very sorry.
You're fine.
Family. Yeah. So before we go, I just want to do our little outros and have and we lost Amy.
Yeah, Gremlin's got her.
Oh no. All right. Well, she was awesome. Was she not? Oh my gosh, you guys. She was so helpful. Absolutely phenomenal. CO says this has been great. Yay. Thank you. Oh my God. What? You're right. We're not going to finish on time. Oh
Man.
no. Joanne, quick send a message in the chat and tell me if we can do it. I want to give it more time than 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Can you see if we can do it next week? Let's do it. Let's tease it this week and we'll do it next week. Joanne Ninja Hen is going to give away one of her awesome animated book covers. And if you guys have seen them, I mean, she did
so good.
They're super cool. Yeah.
They're so good. And she's giving one away on our live stream, and I'm super excited about it.
Yay.
So, yeah, right? I'm super excited about it. And I meant to talk about it today since it's promo stream day, but I was me. So I apologize for that. We will do the giveaway next week, and we'll tell you exactly what you need to do that. I'm so super excited. All right. So before we go, look, it's 1 o'clock. I didn't make it. All right. Before we go, let's everybody say goodbye. But I do want to say thanks to Amy, even though she is not here with us right now. Wait, is she back? Amy, we were just saying how awesome you were, and we were so glad you made it here today. And thank you so much for all of your amazing advice. So as you are our special guest today, give us your little outro. Tell us just about you and where everybody can go to find you.
I am an SEO consultant, as I'm sure you gathered from the stream. I don't have a website. Yes, much to my shame and horror of my peers, I do not have one because I don't actually like maintaining it for myself.
But I can hire you to do it. So I found we're going to make this happen.
Right. Oh, and you can find her. Hold on. I'm going to put it up right now. ROESEO. You can find her on Twitter right here. Ta-da!
Yay, Twitter. Twitter took 7 months. I just want to throw it out there.
I'm going to also put her Twitter handle down in the description below so you guys can check that out as well. Carrow, take us out. Tell us a little bit about you on your way out the door.
Okay. Hi, my name is Carrow Brown. I'm a fantasy author and the operations director over at Otherworld Inc. I came here today to talk about websites. I talked about websites and I was a little sassy about it at the same time. I called that a win. Thanks for having me. Bim, bam, boom, done.
Awesome. Yay. That's good. Robert, can you beat Carrow?
Let's see. I'm the story detective Robert Jones. I put all storycraft problems under a Sherlockian microscope to solve your problems so you can keep your keyboards clacking.
Oh, I like it.
That was good. That was really good. That was really good. Now we're like on this like whole thing. Okay, Savvy, your turn.
Mine's not going to be as good as theirs, but I'm Savvy. I have channel SAVY Writes Books. On there, we talk about life as a small business owner and an author, and we roast scammers who try to exploit small business owners. So come over on Friday and come over to my channel next Friday, May 15th as well, because I will be doing a live stream book launch party. So it'll be fun.
Woohoo! It will be fun. I'm Lisa Daly. I'm a traditionally published author of 8 or 9 books. And if you want to write a book that you're super proud of and get it published, this is the place for you. I'm super glad you guys were all here today. I'm incredibly great. Okay, we have like a bunch of people who are like, I want this cover. All right, this is awesome. Totally awesome. All right, you guys have been awesome. Doll is heading off to get ready for her stream, so be sure to head over there in 57 minutes. You guys have been great. I'm super thankful for you guys showing up every single week. We love you. Keep writing, and we will see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.